An advocate for survivors of sexual abuse is calling for change in the way that Arizona registers its sex offenders.
This comes a week after the 12 News I-Team shed light on one aspect of the assessment process that categorizes offenders as lower risk if their victims are girls. Team 12's Bianca Bono has more.
A victim's story does not end when their case closes.
And because Kaylee Kozak shared her story, her name is etched into law.
I am a survivor of childhood sexual abuse.
She was sexually abused in middle school and has advocated to create Kaylee's Law so she and other survivors can petition the court for a lifetime injunction, preventing offenders from ever contacting their victims again. But Kaylee says her work isn't finished.
When I discovered this, I was very sickened.
She's talking about this, Arizona's assessment that determines what level a sex offender is designated, with level 1 being the lowest. The assessment doesn't look at the crimes committed, instead a list of 19 questions. One of them, what gender was the offender's victim? If the victim is a girl, the sex offender gets 0 points. But if the victim is a boy, it's 3 points.
We know statistically females have a higher chance of being sexually abused. But if they're the ones that are sexually abused, the perpetrator is less of a risk to the community. It doesn't make any sense.
Level 1 offenders are not required to be listed on the state's sex offender registry.
You can have an offender that has been convicted of a sexual crime against a child, and they can score good on this risk assessment, and they will not be on the DPS sex offender website.
Now, Kaylee is pushing for the passage of SB 1583, which would focus on the crimes rather than the quiz. The bill would require all sex offenders who are convicted of a dangerous crime against children to be listed on the database.
People who pose no danger are caught up in it.
The proposal is getting pushback.
Nobody should be defined by one moment in their life. I am more than a survivor, and the person that harmed me is more than a sex offender.
Some arguing the sex offender registry does not prevent crime or allow for those who have served their sentence to get a second chance.
I understand grace and second chances. We can still be compassionate while holding these offenders accountable.
On Wednesday, the bill was discussed by the Senate and is now on hold. But Kaylee says her fight is far from over.
If they wanted a normal life that bad, they should have thought about that before they made the choices that they did.
And Kaylee is also pushing for Kaylee's Law to be passed in every state. It's already been passed in Wisconsin. Bianca Bono, 12 News.